Alright, let's a quick audio check. Am I muted? Okay, I think this is better. Should be a little better now, hopefully. Alright, hello, good morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you are in the world. This is the ALR. Let me get my bearings right once again, just like I did yesterday. ALR Tier 6 GT3 round season 16 round 5 around Kyoto driving park, and here we have the qualifying order. This is the sprint race. We shall follow it up with the feature race in a few moments. So before we begin, let me just very quickly enable the race information and such. All right. So I think everything's set. All right. So for Kyoto, please, if somebody in chat, please do let me know if my audio is better. All right. So we have Blade Runner in the Renault on pole position. He was rather quick in this quali session. I think he outqualified me by a comfortable margin. This is myself in P2. And as you can see, the weather time of day is towards, I think it's midnight, supposed to be midnight. So it's a little darker than usual that you would usually see. Michelle in the Subaru in P3. We have Avi, my teammate, in P4. Apocalypse in the Audi in P5. Gumb in the Porsche P6, GSR-IGF, the ambulance Lamborghini in P7, Gabo in the fantastic Renault 2005-6 F1 livery in P8. I don't think it was the best quali from him, but I think he did have a good comeback in the race. Jaden in the, I think this is the Rich Energy Haas, not the Rich Energy Haas, but the Rich Energy Audi in P9. Fudo in the other Rich Energy car in P10. Ellis P11, we saw him have a alright comeback after a pretty disastrous lap 1 in the feature at Laguna Seca yesterday. He's in the Supra. Denos in the Police Lambo in P12. I shall set something up. Oh, thank you. Yeah, somebody mentioned me in Discord. I'm happy to hear that. Denos in the other Lambo is in P12. We have Rico in P13. I believe this was his debut. He's in the Genesis. Nico in the Aston Villa Aston Martin. That feels a little odd to say, but yeah, he is in P14. His teammate in Organic in P15. And rounding off the grid is Gaz in the Audi in P16. So with that sorted, let's go on with the sprint race. 10 laps around Kyoto. And you shall see some very interesting tire wear down here. Let's go. So the lights on ahead of all the drivers, lights out, and they're off. It's an alright start for the Ferrari. It's a great start for the Renault. I think as you can see there, Blade Runner got a pretty good start here, and I think I will be challenging him into turn 1. We were side by side for a brief moment there, and I think he did edge out in the end. And there you go. It's Michelle, myself, and Blade Runner all the way ahead of the rest of the field. Blade Runner got a pretty good start here. He was actually comfortably ahead of me at this point. As you can see, I'm being chased by Michelle. I'm going to switch to this camera for the time being, and I'm going to alter my audio mix because I think there's a bit of an issue there with that. Yeah. So the field got through without too many issues at the race start here. As you can see, a few drivers here and there close together, but no moves being made as of now, at least. Or as I say that, Abhi, my teammate, trying to go for a move on Michelle. What a start by Gabo, up into P5 already, making up 3 positions. Garmin staying where he started in P6. For the back, Ellis also with a reasonable start, but what a start by Gabo, and what a start by Blade Runner. Ahead of the field comfortably at this point, so I think you can expect to... This is a race where he was rather comfortable, I think, with the car that he's driving. We have Abhi still chasing after Michelle, into this tricky turn as I make a bit of a mistake there. You can see that on the a little further ahead on the screen. And will he go for a move, Abhi? Will he go for a move? can't really remember. We were discussing all this live in the race as well. And there you go, onto the main straight we go. Blade Runner has a rather commanding lead at this point in the race. Lap one with about 2-second buffer almost to myself. Following is Michelle. Abhi, who is very feisty, very close to Michelle at this point in the race. Further back, I see a few moves being made. We shall divert our focus to that as we see Jaden going a little bit wide there, getting tagged a little bit, almost being sent into the pit lane almost by Nico's Aston Martin there. I think there's been a bit of a disaster for further back. Yeah, I think it's the Lambos who've not had a good race start. As we can see here, he's had a spin IJF. Whatever's happened here, sorry for that. That was unintentional. Yes. So let's have a look at the midfield here, going through this slow left-hander. What happened to IJF that caused him to get a 5-second penalty and be at the tail end of the field? Did he get a bit of a run-in with somebody? Yes, he did, and that's a spin, and that is a collision with the wall. Yes, unfortunately for him, wall collision penalties were enabled in this race mistakenly. So that was, I believe, sorted for the next race as we switch our attention to Apocalypse, Jaden and Nico here, who are engaged in a fantastic battle. Jaden going slightly off track, and as we saw there, almost being sent into the pit wall, but thankfully nothing happened, nothing came of it. Up front, there's not a whole lot that's going to happen until the latter half of the race. We'll switch to that in a bit as we see whatever's happened here to Ellis. He's made contact with Gabo. I think we'll focus on one battle at a time. Getting a little ahead of myself. Still a little new to GT7 races and such. So I think here we'll have a look at what happened to Gabo and Ellis. I think Ellis just went for an untimely move there. Jaden had to avoid, take some evasive action. That's a penalty for Ellis, but I think not a whole lot more that he could have done there. We see Apocalypse and Jaden going very close to one another, two teammates, and there you go. We see Apocalypse has been tagged, as Nico has been tagged, and yes, this was something that was reported. This is something that really makes me see. Fudo, Jaden, Apocalypse, and Nico, I think they were all in some way engaged in a few, let's say, skirmishes with the stewards in this race. As we can see here, that is a pretty significant bit of contact for Nico, Fudo, and Apocalypse as well. And a lot of damage, very unfortunate for them. They fall further back, they have penalties and damage to contend with at this point. So Rico not having the best of time. I think this is his first outing in the Genesis as well, so he's not really up to speed and not very comfortable with the car at this point in the race. As you can see there, Gaz outbreaks him, but I don't think he was able to make it stick. I think he just went a bit too deep into the corner there. Nico trying to chase after Gaz, trying to make amends for that penalty that he's picked up. And let's have a look going into this slow left-hander. Are we going to see any moves being made here by Nico, possibly by Inorganic, Nico's teammate? Nothing doing on this occasion, but Nico gets the better exit there out of that corner. There's more contact to be followed there for Gaz and Nico. Thankfully, I don't think there's too many troubles for either of them. Nico will have to slow down, of course, with this penalty. So will Inorganic, who also picked up a penalty. So both Aston Martin are not doing themselves any favors here. We see Ellis making amends for his contact and spin. Gaz going a bit too deep in his corners. I don't think he was enjoying this track particularly too much, as usually you see drivers avoid the car that's slowing down. That is a bit of a unique decision by Gaz to take the line exactly where the car was slowing down, because that was slowed down. I think Gabo had a bit of a moment here, yep, losing the rear end slightly, I think, and that allowing Jaden to come close. Apocalypse was not too far behind either. Apocalypse is sorry. Apocalypse sliding around a little bit. Maybe is that lag? I'm not sure, but that is a good pace by Jaden, who may be looking to go for a move down the inside at this long left-hander. Gabo trying for the switch back. Let's stay with this battle for the time being. He does get the switch back, and Jaden was not able to make that move stick. Great racing by Gabo, and great respect by the pair of them to just give us some fantastically close battles. Jaden once more, Jaden wants to go down the inside and make the move on Gabo, which I think he will make it stick on this occasion. Yes, he does. What about Apocalypse? Will he be able to get past the Mile 7 Renault as well? I don't think it's going to be possible, because Gabo's a little too far ahead right now, unless he's going to go for a dive, send it down the inside. That's a tinge of contact there. That's offset Gabo a little bit. Nothing doing that occasion. And yeah, they carry on as they are. Further back, are we missing out on any moments or overtakes? I think we've missed Avi and Michelle. Yep. So something that I've missed here is Michelle and Avi. So this is back to lap 2, where we have a look at Gumb and Michelle. Sorry, so I think Michelle. Yes, indeed. So I did miss out on this. So I think at this point Michelle just slightly mistimed his brake. We made a little bit of contact, or I think maybe he didn't anticipate me to be turning in the way I did, and he was passed by Avi, my teammate. And now the Ferraris in 2 and 3. Michelle in P4, now under threat from Gum, who is looking rather racy, rather feisty here. And I think he will likely to send one down the inside on Michelle. He will. And there you go. With that, Michelle loses a couple positions in a few corners. And starting lap 3, he will be down in P5. He was P3 at the start of this lap. So I think we can advance a little further. Not a whole lot is gonna happen here from what I remember. Yeah, I think that's just okay. So there's a little bit of racing going on here between Michelle and Gum. Let's have a look going into the chicane here. Will Michelle be attempting a move down the inside? He is close enough. He may as well think about it, but now the straight line speed of the BRZ once again coming back to haunt him, and nothing doing here. Will he go for a move a little further ahead to the next turn possibly? Gump is looking for an opportunity to defend, but I think he goes a little bit too deep there. That's going to allow Michelle to draw alongside and go ahead of the Porsche. So fantastic switch back there by Michelle to make the move on the Porsche. Getting very close. Gump slightly goes onto the grass there. Michelle himself goes on the grass. So a bit of lawn mowing there by the pair of them, but luckily they keep it on track, on tarmac, and without any penalties. Gum having a bit of movement there. As I say that, they were able to keep it on the track. He has a little bit of a squirm there on the throttle. So we switch our attention back to Philippos and Gabo. Further back, I don't see a whole lot going on. Rico not enjoying his time here, rather in the Genesis. First time out, and once again Gabo at the very same turn under threat from an Audi and almost losing the rear end of this occasion as well. After being tapped, but no contact on this occasion. Philippos and Gabo carry on as they are, and I think this is going to be round 2 for Gabo. Will you need to defend once again? Pull out another switchback maneuver? I don't think it is. I see further back there's a bit of position swapping going on. We will switch to that in a moment. Nothing going on here. Anything happening here between Ellis and Nico? I think, oh, that's a spinning Audi of Gaz. Let's have a look what happened to him. So going through the long left-hander turn 1, I think he just dips onto the grass there, yeah, and it's very easy to lose control. The amount of times I've done this in practice, and there's a 10-second penalty to contend with. Wall collision penalties being on really hampered so many drivers race here. That was rather painful. You can only imagine how we would have felt at this point in time. Ellis and Nico going at it. Ellis looking for a way past the Aston Martin. Nothing doing on this occasion. What about Jaden? I was just going to mention Jaden and Gabo and Apocalypse. So Gabo's in a bit of a Audi sandwich at this point in the race. As we go through the chicane, what's going to happen to... Did I miss something there? Sorry for that. I think I missed Apocalypse running into the back of Gabo, and I think in sympathy Jaden spinning as a result. So there's I think it's a bit of phantom contact here, and Jaden just loses the rear end of the car. No grip right there. At the exit of the corner, that's another spin, and that's a 5-second penalty. So rejoins the track just ahead of Rico, and or rather just ahead of Nico, just behind Rico. That's a bit of work there, and again Nico has to take some of this action. I almost ran into the back and gave him some damage there. Ellis will be looking at ways to convert this situation into a possible overtaking scenario for himself. Trying to get his way past Nico and Jaden. Jaden obviously has the penalty. He will have to slow down, but Ellis is doing himself no favors there by going off track. That will open up the door for Inorganic to get past and slot him right behind his teammate there. Will Ellis be able to do something? Not a whole lot on this occasion. Up front, Apocalypse still chasing after Gabo. Gump is in a bit of a race of his own at this point in time. Michelle and Abhi, I think this got rather feisty. So I think we'll shift our attention to this for the time being. Michelle with a purple sector as well. Looking for a way down, move down the inside. Will he be able to find it? Abhi has to go wide. Abhi will get slightly better exit speed, but I think Michelle will have the track position. Abhi onto the grass there, side by side for the Ferrari and the BRZ as they go towards the chicane. Who's going to be the last of the late breakers? Let's have a look. I think it's going to be Michelle who will make the move stick, move back up into P3. So Abhi in the other Ferrari is in, drops down to P4, and Michelle gets back up into P3. So let's follow this for a moment. Let's see if Abhi will be looking to recover the position he just lost. I don't think he'll be able to do so on this occasion. Let's have a look at this turn. It can be rather tricky to navigate this on the best of times, let alone when there's a fast driver chasing you or ahead of you. So yeah, nothing much doing on this occasion. Apocalypse and Gabo very close. Very close up to one another. Hello Michelle. Nice to have you in the chat. This was I think you'll remember the last lap of the sprint between yourself, Lina and myself. So that was one of the highlights of my entire season. Just that last lap, how respectful and close it can be between all of us. So that was really fun to watch. What's not fun to see here is the driver struggle. Rico in the Genesis. I don't think the vehicle's turn-in or the grip levels really suit his driving style, as we can see going off the circuit, almost picking up a penalty there. Indeed, yes, I will be switching attention to the top 3 on the last lap. So viewers, you are in for quite a treat here. So I think let's just run through the field before I showcase to you why I'm going on and on about that. So Jaden looking for a way past Inorganic. After that spin, of course, he wants to get back up the field. It is lap 6 of 10. We have a much longer race ahead of us. And through the S's, Inorganic breaks there for some reason to let Jaden pass. Or maybe he just didn't have the confidence in the car, but Jaden himself goes over the curbing, grazes the wall. He may have picked up a penalty in the process, or maybe he just let Inorganic by a show of good respect. As Inorganic goes deep, that allows Jaden back pass. So the pair of them are struggling. They're not really enjoying their time. Actually, as we see, Danos not enjoying his time either. That's a collision. That's loss of grip, loss of maybe positions as well. Where's Fudo? Fudo may be looking to get past. Obviously, Danos has the penalty, moves out the way there just in time. Ellis obviously not enjoying this race either. We see Inorganic and Jaden once again battling it out. I think Jaden made the move here, so let's have a look at it. Or did I miss it? Sorry. He was ahead. Oh yeah, right. This is the move that we just saw ahead of us. So up front, not a whole lot going on. Apocalypse still chasing after Gabo. And for the back, we see Janos moving out the way. IJF and Gaz battling away for P15. It's unfortunate to be battling for that position, but sometimes races just don't go your way. And they are still in the race though, so that's what's important. Finishing a race is, I think, as important as so let's see, will IJF go for a move here? He has the momentum and he is going to break a little bit later. That may cause him to get a bad exit there, and Gaz with the switchback is looking to regain the position, but no. And in any case, IJF has the penalty to contend with, so it won't really matter here. As I see, not a whole lot going on here. Gaz trying to get his way past. He will do so on the main straight in any case. Up front here, Jaden and Inorganic battling it out. Inorganic is not being too aggressive with Jaden here for some reason. As we can see here, he is close enough, but he's not really making the moves. You can see here he gets a good exit out of the last turn, but he's not able to do a whole lot because he chooses to brake for some reason early into turn 1. I think his tires are running out at this point. Kyoto was notoriously difficult on tires for I think all the drivers. Maybe the BRZ was the best disregard because of its great tire management capabilities. Inherent great time management capabilities, as that's a massive moment for inorganic. He will want to be a little more cautious. He wants to get to the end of the race and with an intact car. And rather spaced out, or is it? We see a few battles going on here between that is Gabo and Gum. So something happened to Gum. His tires have gone off. His tires are completely almost off the cliff at this point. Look at the sheer difference between Gabo and Gum's tires. Look at the front right, just for a moment here. Just look at the sheer difference at all these tire wear. So everyone's just having a bit of a race of their own. So I think even car to car it mattered. So as you can see here, I have my front right is rather intact, whereas my teammate's front right is just not in a good shape whatsoever. Actually, gosh, that I forgot that I've done this race on the mediums. So yeah, a couple of drivers choosing the mediums. I completely forgot about our strategy here. Sorry for that. So those on the softs have higher tire wear, of course. But even those tire wear levels really differ from car to car. A couple drivers on the mediums. I was on the mediums. Blade Runner and Michelle on the softs. Abhi and Gum's tires are running out. Gabo is on the medium as well, along with a few of us. So this is the situation. Sorry for missing such a crucial element to the race. And Gum struggling with those tires. And Gabo will be looking to go for the move here. And flashing his lights to state his intent, getting past the Porsche. Will Gumb attempt to dive down the inside? He likely will not be able to do a whole lot with it. Apocalypse also on the softs now has another soft runner, Gumb, right ahead of him. Gabo makes his way past up into P5. A bit of a recovery drive here. The two German cars, the Porsche and the Audi, very close to one another on circuit. Gambling for a good exit, trying to get, rather stay ahead of these two. They'll battle themselves as Apocalypse almost loses the rear end there in his pursuit of staying close to Gum. It is going to be the start of lap 8 for the drivers. And yeah, they're pretty spaced out here. Michelle was hassling me at this point in the race, but it was a little difficult to keep them at bay. Let's have a look here. The battle between P6 and battle for P6 between Apocalypse and Gum. Gum's tires seem to be in slightly worse shape at this point in time, so I don't think he'll be able to do a whole lot in regards to defending against Apocalypse. Simply outbreaks him, that Apocalypse. Nothing that Gum could do, and as a result, I think he will just continue to fall down the order. Apocalypse also going onto the grass there almost. And yeah, a lot of drivers struggling. Those who have opted for the soft tires. The soft tires for the sprint were really not the best decision in hindsight because of all the issues they're causing with tire wear. Something happened to Rico here. Let's have a look further back. Anybody's close enough? Nope. So I think it's just Rico by himself who has made a bit of a mistake. So what's happened here? Maybe staying too much of the curbing, or he just got a bit of understeer there, and that's damage and a penalty to contend with. So Rico not having a very good time here in the Genesis at Kyoto. And through the chicane we go. Nico and Jaden battling it out now, and Jaden having to almost go off the circuit there in his battle with Nico. He'll be rather cross with Nico for that little bit of contact there. Nico with the penalty, and Apocalypse not enjoying his time. These tires, Gum not enjoying his time on these tires either. Let's have a look what's going on there. That is RB into the pit lane. Obviously his softs are also in pretty bad nick. What about Apocalypse and Gum? They carry on these soft tires. That will be rather problematic for them. Rico has that 5 second penalty to contend with. And okay, he's not enjoying his time with this car. He might actually be overtaken by Nico by the end of the race. So Abi rejoined ahead of Rico. Maybe he'll be able to get Gum by the end of the race, possibly even Apocalypse. Let's have a look. We have another lap to go after this one concludes. And up front, this is when the three of us were rather close together. I think we managed to close up the Blade Runner on this lap because his tires were, I think, falling off at this point. And yeah, this is where my decision to go into the mediums really helped me out. Because these two were pretty damn fast around me. And I think it's just having the better tires at the end that really helped me out. As we shall see, last lap begin. Gabo is a little too far back. Apocalypse and Gumb race of their own. Abhi's caught up to them, and he will pass them, I believe, around the outside. Down the inside, what's he gonna do? He's gonna go down the inside. That's a tinge of contact there for between Abhi and Gumb. Apocalypse still chasing out, giving chase to Gabo, but not a whole lot that can be done. And this, viewers, is what I have been waiting for the whole race. So for 10 laps, Blade Runner has been in the lead of the race, and I have been painstakingly having to chase after him. He's just had the outright speed here, but I think his tires just gave way at the end. As you can see, Michel struggling. He has the purple sector 1, and here is when there was a little bit of a mistake there, I think, for Blade Runner with the stock tires. I sense an opportunity. This is side-by-side racing here between the pair of us, going into the chicane, and we gave each other a lot of respect, I think, as we should be, because it's always been a pleasure to race these guys on the track. Michel looking for a way past Blade Runner as well, and unfortunate for Blade Runner that he had to contend with this on the very last lap, but I think the tires just fell off at the end there. There is myself moving up into P1, Michel moving up into P2, Blade Runner, unfortunate for him, having led almost all of the sprint, has to deal with P3 at the end of it all. So there you go. That is the end of the sprint race there. It's always a pleasure to look back on this race and marvel in how respectful the racing was. And even on the last lap, when usually drivers tend to be the most aggressive. So there you go. There's a checkered flag. Ferrari ahead of Subaru, ahead of Renault. And the other Renault, actually it's Renault 3-4 here. Gabo will finish in P4. Apocalypse hangs on to P5. Abhi just a few seconds apart, a few seconds behind him. Gabo finishes P4. Apocalypse will finish P5. Abhi will finish in P6. Gumb in P7 with no front right tire. He was dangerously close to being taken over by Ellis here. What happened there? For some reason it cut out there, but I think there you can see the final classification. So Gumb finished ahead of Nico, and I would like to see the rest of the thing. That is Ellis, of course. This would be Rico, Fudo, Jaden, Denos, Inorganic Gas, and IJF. So for some reason the replay cut off just before the end there. So we shall switch our attention to the feature race. So obviously sorry, I have to go here. Yeah. So the reverse order, of course, is what we will have for the start of the feature race. So there you go. So having finished in P10, this is Rico who will start in P1 for the race in the Genesis. Ellis in P2 in the Supra. Nico in P3 on the... Oh, let's also discuss the tires. For some reason I'm forgetting the tires around here actually, which were the biggest talking point for this race. Rico has opted for the hard tires. Ellis has opted for the softs. Given how quickly the softs wore out in the sprint, it will be very interesting to see how he goes in the feature. Nico on the hards as well. Gumb on the hards in the Porsche. Abhi opting for the mediums for the race start. Apocalypse on the hards in the Audi. Gabo follows suit in the Renault, and the other Renault off Blade Runner also on the hards. Michel on the hards as well, and I opt for the mediums. So that was a bit of an interesting call. I was debating a lot between going on to mediums or hards. I in the end opted for the mediums. It just seemed like the right call. As I see a couple other drivers, not a lot of drivers have opted for the mediums here. Fudo on the mediums as well. Jaden on the hards. Denos on the hards. Inorganic on the hards. Gaz on the mediums. And IJF rounds of the grid also on the hards. So I think let's go for the race start. Cinematic camera. We shall focus on Gumb. Let's go for Gumb. He was looking rather racy earlier on. And lights will go off. the rolling start, and there you go. Gumb already looking to give chase after Nico. Nico himself looking to go for a move on Ellis. Already at turn 1, getting very racy there. Nico makes the move and makes it stick possibly. He's gaining on Rico as well. That's a fantastic race start for Nico, who in the Aston Martin looks to have it all sorted at this race start. And as we can see there, Rico not enjoying his time with Nico right behind him. This is the Felipe and Nasser, Felipe and Massa conundrum that the F1 commentators had to deal with for a couple seasons there. Nico and Rico battling it out for P1, and I think Rico will hang on for the time being. Nico coming under threat from Ellis, who is looking to go for a move potentially. I think further back there's been a bit of contact, as we can see cars spinning around there, and Nico and Rico battling it out. Gum going for the move. Nico and Rico making some contact. Gum looking for a way past the pair of them. Ellis out of nowhere makes his way into P1. Let's have a look at that from Ellis' point of view there. So, wow, I didn't expect to see that. Gum simply outbroke the pair of them here. So let's follow this from each driver's perspective, turn by turn. So Ellis broke a little early there, trying to get a better exit there. Gum outbroke the pair of them. These two made contact, and with all of them trying to regain some momentum, Ellis just breezed his way past there. Now it is Rico and Ellis. That was a bit of a close shave there. Almost serious contact for the pair of them. We see here Nico trying to go down the inside. Oh no, that is actually Gum, who has made some contact with Nico at this slow left-hander. We will switch our attention to the back of the field, mid-pack as well, a little bit later. So Gum going down the inside, there's contact, there's a bit of lag involved there, and that is Nico and Rico once again. This is a 3-wide battle, and as we can see from Abhi's POV here, it is Nico who will emerge out in front, or really a little bit of contact there. Rico, upper Philippus, and so on. There's a whole lot going on, and that is myself looking to give chase after Rico. This is the end of lap 1, and as you can see there, we are missing Blade Runner and Michelle. So whatever's happened to them. So there you go. They've not had the best of starts. Gabo's also not really enjoying his time on those hards here. So let's have a look further back. So a couple drivers have let's have a look at what happened to Jaden here. I saw a couple drivers spin. So obviously Jaden at the racetrack, something happened to him. Oh, it's just a loss of traction there for Jaden. As we can see, myself, Blade Runner and Michelle very close. I think he just got a bit distracted there looking at all of us, or maybe just reflected maybe some action, which all of us being in such close proximity. That's a penalty for him. Wall collision penalty, unfortunately. And let's have a look. I see somebody else also had a bit of a spin there. So was it Denos or was it Gaz? Let's have a look. I saw a car spin there. That is that's inorganic, not IGF. So he was the other driver who had a bit of a spin there. No wall collision penalty and no damage for him, thankfully. So I think he'll be glad to get away with that. Mostly unscathed. It's not really unscathed in any way, but there you go. So a few moves being made here in the midfield as well. I was trying to make a move on Gabo. There's a little bit of contact there, and Gabo having made some contact with Kudo as well as a result. So yeah, it was really way too close here on lap 1 in the feature race. Thankfully, I think everybody got through without too many issues. So let's have a look here at Fudo's on board, because he's going to get the best view of all of us. It's a 6 or 7 way battle. Gabo onto the grass there, not having the best of grip here, and Fudo giving chase after myself. This is me giving chase to Rico and following suit all the cars. I tried to go for a move around the outside, and I think somehow I managed to make it stick, or did I? Little bit of contact there, or getting very close. Fudo also looking to get past the Genesis. Rico just was not enjoying his time here with his tires, and there's contact there. A massive bit of contact for Rico, Fudo and Gabo, and that did not sound very happy for Michelle, as you can see there. So he was giving chase to Gabo. Behind him is Blade Runner. So let's have a look from Michelle's point of view. Did he make contact with somebody trying to rejoin the track? So as you can see, a lot of contact there. Michelle, I think he just got a bit distracted. Yeah, That's a wall collision penalty and damage for him. And Blade Runner now looking to get past a couple drivers, making amends for the way his race start has gone. And there you go, Blade Runner and Fudo side by side, level pegging at this point in time, going into the chicane. Will Fudo brake a bit later? We know he's a little bit aggressive at times, and there you go, fair but aggressive, and he makes the move. Danos looking for a way past, and something happening to the, sorry, that's Michel looking for a way past Danos, and I think something happened here. Did Danos get hit by Michel? Okay, Michel found his way past, and Danos just had a spin on his own. Alright, so Michel with a very timely overtake there. Although he has a penalty, that's good to see him still trying to push on fourth. Let's have a look here. Will he make the move on Blade Runner? He will not. I'll carry on. Up front, myself getting close to Nico and my teammate getting close to Apocalypse and Gum, and that's contact there. A whole lot of contact. I think we shall focus on this for the time being. So let's have a look from my teammate's perspective. RB274 giving chase to Apocalypse and Gum. That is the second sector line. Let's have a look what happened here between Gum and Apocalypse. Oh, that's just Gum, and both of them being at the wrong place at the wrong time. It is super unfortunate for them. They fall down the order, and this is myself and my teammate and Nico all engaged in battle. RB going a little bit wide there. That will open the door for Gabo to go for the move. Rico's a bit further back. Sorry for the speeding up my words here. Gabo, will he go for a move around the outside? He will attempt it at least. Will he get the superior grip against the Ferrari? He will not. Abhi stays ahead of Gabo, at least for the time being, and I managed to get past Nico. So Nico was pretty feisty at this stage in the race, and we'll have a look further back at what's happening to the likes of Michel and Blade Runner in a moment. So they were engaged in a few battles as well, as that is Gabo and Abhi. Oh, yeah, I remember this. He was pretty upset about this, Abhi. So yeah, a couple drivers having to take some evasive action here. So Gabo was giving chase to Abhi, and I think there was a little bit of contact there that just resulted in both of their races going south. And that's a lot of wall contact. Luckily, no penalties involved here. Blade Runner getting past, and that is Abhi also struggling to regain position. He has a lot of damage here at this point, front and rear damage. So he's now down to P7 behind the other Renault of Blade Runner. Michel in P8. Yeah, the field staying as they are. I heard a bit of contact there. Apocalypse looking for a way past Gaz. Will he be able to make it stick? Gaz goes very deep, hits the wall and picks up a penalty and damage. So did he just miss his braking point there? What happened to Gaz? That was rather uncharacteristic there. Or was that some lag involved? He just missed his braking point outright, and good on him for not holding the brakes. That would have resulted in him going into the wall head on. That would have been even more problematic. Inorganic is drifting around. I think we need to give him a bit of a reminder that this is a race where drifting may look cool, but it will not do you any favors with regards to tire wear. So Gum going very slow here for some reason. What's happened to Gum? Let's have a look at what happened to Gum. Why was he going so slow? He is lifting off, as you can see there, completely. He's off the throttle. He's not applying the brakes, so he's just coasting. He's rolling at this point. And is he trying to let Apocalypse by? Why has he opted to do that? Because we couldn't see a visible penalty indicator on him. So let's have a look further back. Have I missed something? Did he make contact with somebody? No, Gum was alright. He just he chose to lift there. I can't make out unless something's happened which I'm missing here. So I think let's focus on the leaders. It is lap 3, so given a lot of airtime to the first few laps of this race. See Fudo chasing after Rico, and Rico chasing after Nico. Once again, this I forget what's the figure of speech that's in play here. These two. Thank you, Fudo, for not letting me worry about that any longer. Fudo now moves ahead of Rico, and he is going to chase after Nico Swagarelli. And I am chasing after Ellis. Ellis on the softs, of course. I'm on the medium, so a lot of tires choices will come into play here a little later on. I think around lap 7 or 8, maybe around lap 10, we can expect to see a lot of people drive into the box, and the field will slowly get spaced out. Gaz having to service penalty. Inorganic will breeze fast up into P14 and Denos in P16. So unfortunate the way it's going for them. And as you see, Jaden chasing after Apocalypse. Both Audi cars, of course. Bit of side-by-side action here for Rico and Blade Runner. We will give this a bit of airtime here. So Rico obviously not enjoying his time on the Genesis around here. Genesis not particularly good with turn-ins and such. And as a result, we can see there Blade Runner getting past, Rico on the grass, and Abhi getting past as well. And will Beaumont follow suit? He's a bit too far back. On this occasion, will Abhi go for a drive down the inside? He will not. He hangs on to P6, chasing after Blade Runner. Fudo a little further back. Rico, will he be able to do anything? He's only falling down the order at this point in time. Abhi looking for the switchback on Blade Runner, and he can't make it stick on this occasion. And there you go. Rico's still there, but he's coming under threat from Michel. Whereas I think once again you'll see Rico just struggle for turn-ins with the Genesis. For the back, anything going on here? There's a nice battle going on here for P11. There's contact involved as well between Apocalypse and Jaden, and that's going to allow Gum to get back past, who for some reason had lifted, as we saw a little earlier on. Two Audis go almost one after another, chasing after another. There's the battle for P11, Apocalypse and Jaden. Let's have a look at who's going to come out on top. Will Apocalypse go for a dive down the inside? It's lap 5. And let's have a look into turn 1 we go. It's a very long left-hander, very taxing on the tires. But I think Apocalypse has just managed to get past to Has. Jaden managed to stay ahead. Jaden has. That's a great bit of racing between the pair of them. And it's so easy to lose control in this SS, and as you can see there, that's exactly what's happened to Jaden. And Gumb has picked up a penalty. He's spun, and that's multiple penalties and damage for him. And Gaz will have to contend with the car being stopped in the middle of the track. So, did Gumb just lose it on his own? He did. While chasing after the pair of Audis, he just lost control, and he is now having to do a bit of a recovery race here down at P16. Is gone. So Jaden also, I think, picking up a penalty for that wall collision there. The wall collision being involved, enabled, really hampered a lot of races here. Not a whole lot going on. Rico doing a bit of lawn mowing there, as we can see. Gabo giving chase after him. Rico struggling with turn-ins and such. So let's see if he can. I think at this point it's when he can get past Rico. This is a sector where the Genesis really does not seem to be giving Rico any confidence. As you can see, Gabo closing up steadily on the Genesis. And this is a nice battle here. Blade Runner, Nico and Abhi. So let's see where this goes. As you go onto the main straight, Abhi looking for a way past the Renault of Blade Runner. Michel looking to come close and get past Ferrari and the Renault. And there you go. Nico still defending hard against Blade Runner. Why wouldn't he? It is a racer position, of course. As long as it's fair, hard racing is always welcome. Blade Runner trying to force Nico into making a bit of a mistake there, and I think he has succeeded because he's getting better drive there, as you can see, sliding around Blade Runner. Maybe he's not come out on top of it after all. Abhi trying to find an opportunity, slip an opportunity in all this, and as we can see up front, there's a bit of a change in position. Oh, that's myself, so we'll not focus on that for the time being. We'll focus on Blade Runner and Nico. Michel as well in this little battle. Look at the superior cornering ability of the BRC just coming in handy there. The way Michelle is able to gain there, and whatever's happened to Blade Runner that's caused him to go a little slow there. So let's have a look. So did Blade Runner just clip the grass there? So as we can see here, he's ahead of the Aston and the Ferrari. I think he just clipped the grass here. Yep, going onto the grass there, that's caused him to lose a bit of momentum. That's given Abhi a bit of a hindrance as well. No damage, thankfully. That's going to allow Michelle to come past. Nico and Blade Runner engaged in battle, and that is a lot of contact side by side, and that is Michelle sideways. No damage for him, but unfortunately that is a spin. Rico with a penalty, and Michelle down in P10. So Rico's penalty was caused while battling with Gabo, who picked up a penalty as well. Let's have a look why. Forgot why he picked up the penalty. So did he hit the wall at this turn? It's very easy to do, so it's the only place where I think it's logical for him to play off. What happened to him here? Oh, it's a corner cutting penalty, alright. So giving chase to Rico at this stage, but something happens obviously between Gabo and Rico. It's on lap 6 of this race. So I think they're gonna go side by side. Oh! Rico just hit the wall outright. Gabo was actually quite far behind at that point. So you can see here Rico, something gonna happen here. Oh, he does hit the wall again. So this is where he picks up the penalty, and up front we can see here, so Michelle going for a way pass, he's tagged there. That's what really causes all the troubles for him, and he is now down in P8, falling further down the order. Nico hangs on to P4 for the time being. He is still under threat from Blade Runner and Abhi, who has now gotten past the Renault. I think Abhi should be able to get past on this lap. So we did witness a change for the lead. I didn't focus on it a whole lot. So yeah, I was able to get close to Ellis. So I think his socks really, as you can see, that his socks gave out. Otherwise, I think he would have really given me some good competition. Going through the S's, he was a little bit slow here. I think you will see I lift a fair bit there, just so as to not run into the back of the Supra. And yeah, approaching the long left-hander, I think there was not a whole lot that Ellis could have done on this occasion. And there you go, I outbreak him, and yeah, it's not a very interesting series of events, so not a whole lot to focus on. So let's shift our attention to the midfield here. Ellis is boxing, obviously. Softs has given up, and Abhi has made the move on the Aston, but I think the superior straight line speed, or rather the better exit of the Aston, will help him out extensively. Blade Runner also looking for a way past. He's a bit too far back right now. Abhi and Nico side by side, a little bit of wheel banging going on there, but Abhi does get past the Aston Martin, and it's now Blade Runner looking to get past the car of Nico Swagarelli, the V12 Vantage. So Gabo's a little further back, IGF P7 giving chase after him, so not a whole lot going on in the midfield there. As why do I switch away from battles just as they're getting feisty? Something I'm going to change. Monza is going to be one heck of a race to cover. So we will have a look at that. The wheel bang there between the Renault and the Aston Martin. Nico stays ahead for the time being, but I think Blade Runner will go for the switchback, providing he can put the power down early enough. Nico cutting across to show his intent that he's not going to let Blade Runner pass with ease. Blade Runner coming close, no contact there between the pair of them. That is, Blade Runner hitting the wall. I think he just put the power down a little too early. That allows his teammate to go past. Unfortunately, though, Blade Runner will lose a whole lot of time now. Down in P7. And that's allowed Apocalypse to get ahead. And you can see Rico chasing after Apocalypse. So Rico just fallen down the order. Blade Runner with the penalty. He's now with Michelle. So these two are going to go side by side into the next corner. One of them will likely back out of this. That is Blade Runner, sensibly, so he has damage and the penalty to contend with. So not a whole lot that he could have done at that point. Ellis in P11, not enjoying his time here. Let's have a look at Rico. So the Genesis has the better straight line speed, possibly some of the best straight line speed in this category of cars. Whereas the BRZ just lacks it outright. And the other cars are a good mix of balance and straight line speed. So I think straight line is where Rico, or rather Michelle, will really struggle. So this is a nice battle for P6. I think we'll follow this. IJF, Apocalypse, and Rico. Michelle is also in this mix. He's a little too far back to trouble IJF for the time being. As you can see, Gabo having a bit of a move. Let's have a look at that. So going through the S's, I think seeing those few cars in the background just distracted them a little bit there. Let's have a look at Gabo. Oh, is that understeer? Oh, just struggling to maintain grip. Keeping it out of the wall is the most important thing to do, and that's what Gabo has done here. Have a look at this little battle for P6, which may just be the battle for P5. It is, after all, GSR IJF right behind Gabo. So let's have a look if any moves are going to be made. That is a move being made for Michelle against Rico. So once again, I think the understeer not giving Rico anything to really contend with. As you can see, you're going on the grass there for the umpteenth time, Rico, and Ellis will also follow suit. Ellis does get fast. What about Apocalypse? He will try to outbrake, and he will successfully outbrake IJF there. IJF will be upset about that. He'll want to make amends. He'll want to come back for more. Let's have a look. Michelle entering the party here. Let's have a look at IJF. Will he go for a dive? He will attempt it. He'll think about it, but I think he thinks better of it. Michelle, however, going for the switchback and getting past the Lamborghini. Ambulance Lamborghini. Ellis looking for a way past as well. He's been hit by Rico there, and he himself, as a result, comes into the back of IJF. And we see Abhi into the pit lane. We'll switch our attention to that in a bit. As we see Michelle battling with Gabo, and ahead of them is Apocalypse. So Abhi into the pit lane from those medium tires. They have given him enough service. He has opted to switch on to the hards, I believe. It is the hards. So the first of the front running pack to make a pit stop here. Michelle still giving chase. Ellis and Rico very close. Blade Runner very close to Rico, looking to make a move. Both of them on the grass there. That's not the ideal line for there whatsoever. But they do carry on. Regardless, they're not. A little bit of lag. So Abhi has come out behind Gaz and just ahead of Denos. Gomb has also boxed from P16. Those hards have not really benefited him in slightest actually. So let's have a look here. Apocalypse has picked up a penalty. So let's have a look what's happened here. So Gabo is giving chase to Apocalypse. So obviously something happened here, which has given him a penalty. So once again he's sliding around. This time around I think he will hit the wall. He only grazes the wall there, so I don't think that's the reason. Is it? Seriously? This game is rather inconsistent at times with the penalties. So at least it looked like a simple graze against the wall. But Apocalypse is upset with that. He will want to make amends. He'll want to lose minimal track time, and as a result he will be looking to go for a move on Gabo possibly at the chicane. He opts against it. Michelle has had a bit of a spin at this turn a few laps ago, and once again the chicane is doing him no good. He is facing the bit of tarmac that he just came over, and he hits the wall. And yeah, usually when you are able to see the same bit of tarmac you just went over, it means that something catastrophic has gone on in your race. You can see IJF having to lift a little bit there to avoid running into Michelle. I think that's going to open up a door for Ellis to go for a move possibly, forcing IJF to go a little bit deep into the corner there, and yep, he will hit the whole stick, and that is me into the box. So yeah, the mediums had served me well. I chose to box on lap 9, one lap after my teammate did. So Rico trying to defend against Blade Runner. Fudo also in the box. And let's have a look. So I think a couple drivers may box around this time in the race. So yeah, that was me having refueled my car. Apocalypse with the penalty. Ellis breezes past. Fudo still in the pits here. Let's see what's going on between Rico. Oh, that's a bit of contact there. between Rico and IJF. So while Apocalypse was serving his penalty, I think these two just got a little bit distracted there. Oh, the car went solid right at the end there. That's given IGF some damage, so yeah, not the way you want your race to go. The car serving a penalty, just becoming solid right at the moment you emerge behind them. That's usually why we tend to avoid the car who slowed down in the straights. You never exactly know when they're going to become solid. Apocalypse now at the tail end of this little battle. Blade Runner still giving chase to Rico, who is himself giving chase to IGF despite the damage is still managing to carry on in P5. Alice and Gabo battling away for P3. I think that's the next P2, is it? At this point in the race, Blade Runner gets past and gets some airtime. Yep, this is what he was pretty... would you say he's happy about this? I'm not sure. But battling with Rico, he got a bit of airtime here. Blade Runner going under the grass here, and there you go. That's two wheels above the ground for the Renault driver. IJF still ahead of him, but yeah, that is not really something you want to have happen in your race. Clipping the grass, giving a nice bit of airtime there. So something to enjoy, a bit of entertainment while racing. And I think that's a little bit of contact there, a little bit of lag involved for everybody. Rico gets past. Apocalypse behind the Renault of Blade Runner, trying to find a way past. Let's have a look if he can do anything of the sort. This is a nice little battle here actually. And Jaden is trying to catch up to it. Blade Runner trying to go for the move. Being on the hards, yeah, Nico pits from the hards, so I think Blade Runner will carry on for at least a few more laps. No point in him pitting at this stage in the race. Rico also carrying on those tires. Apocalypse was also going out, so not a whole lot of drivers making their pit stops. Rico and Blade Runner very close to one another. And now IJF, who is still there, still in the mix. Let's have a look at what all of these drivers can do. Apocalypse once again. Oh, that's Rico clipping the curb, hitting the wall, picking up a penalty and damage. It is very distracting and really disheartening to have that picking up a penalty in the race. I remember that from my very first race at Barcelona, where I picked up a few penalties in the feature it was. Maybe it was in the sprint. But it really distracts you to see that big red marker on the screen, denoting how many seconds you will be forced to slow down. Blade Runner giving chase to IJF, possibly he's going to go for a move down the inside of this left-hander. I think he will do so. There's a battle going on between Gabo and Ellis, which we will switch our attention to in a moment. They are trading position, and that is Blade Runner getting past IJF, or does he? They're side by side going into this right-hander, which will become a very tight left-hander. And they just carry on. This is some great racing between the pair of them. And Apocalypse was also looking for an opportunity here to do something. That is a lot of position trading between the pair of them. Obviously they were side by side. That is expected. Apocalypse was almost losing for the race. So let's have a look at what happened between Gabo and Ellis. So on the chicane, Ellis got a nice run on the Renault. And approaching this left hand, I think Gabo just went a bit deep, or maybe Ellis just went for a nice opportune move down the inside. Gabo will get the better exit, but I think Ellis will have the better overall speed through this section. Let's have a look at what happens between the pair of them. Well, actually not a whole lot. Gabo is still where he is, so is Ellis. Let's have a look at something happened in the last turn. Yep, Ellis trying to go for a move here. They are going to go side by side. Ellis will go ahead, but Gabo will have... The Renault has some pretty good straight line speed. So he may be looking to go for a move here, as we will also keep switching between both the Renaults are involved in a fantastic battle at this stage in the race, lap 12. It's Gabo giving chase to Ellis, and obviously Ellis he's boxed, he's on the mediums. His mediums will definitely not get to the end of the race with the way the tire wear works at Kyoto. Blade Runner chasing after IJF. Let's have a look, having to look to little bit there, avoiding running to the back of the Lamborghini. Apocalypse a little further back, and yeah, this is when the field just gets a bit in their own rhythm. I think, yeah, it's Michel who was able to get past Rico. Oh yeah, he had a penalty, Rico, for some reason. Let's have a look if we can figure out the reason for his penalty. Oh, we did already. Sorry. It's a little distracting at times to switch between so many cars. But yeah, there you go. So we see Abhi, Michel all on the same piece of tarmac. Jaden has boxed. Rico slowing down, Abhi getting past, and Michel will get past around the outside, finding some grip at a rather odd part of the track here. Michel gets past and into E10 and slightly losing the rear end there. Let's see what happens to Rico here. Will he be able to keep it clean on this occasion? He does. A little further back. He will be able to make a move as well. What about Rico? He is looking racy despite struggling with these tires and this car, giving chase after Michel, but there you go, once again on the grass. Lawn mowing will do Rico no favors as it will allow Denos to get past. And into the chicane we go. Denos has the inside line and he will have the advantage exiting the turn. Oh, Willie, that's a little bit of contact there that may have unsettled his car, Denos. But I think there may be an opportunity here for Rico to go for a move. Really? Nope. The star is just on giving the purchase that he needs. And there you go. Michel had a bit of a race to forget here. And oh, that's somebody going off track. That's Apocalypse. Let's have a look at what happened here. So giving chase after Blade Runner, who himself is giving chase to IJF. So did he run into the back of the Renault? No, just lost it. All on his own there, picks up a penalty and lets Nico by. Fudo will follow suit, as will Abhi, I presume. Oh no, he's a little further back, but he will eventually get past when Apocalypse slow down for his penalty. So let's have a look. Somebody into the box, that is Denos. Nope, that's not Denos, that's IGF. Gabo chasing after Ellis. Blade Runner still not able to get past the Lamborghini, so I think he's being rather too respectful with the ambulance there. Ambulance Lamborghini of IGF. Let's see what we can do. Maybe I think at this stage in the race what you need is a nice aggressive move. Fair and aggressive move, that maybe must have fit. Which I think Blade Runner will certainly know a whole lot about. Nico still behind for the time being. He's kept himself in a good position on track, Nico. IGF able to keep ahead of Blade Runner, that's pretty respectable. And yeah, Bravo not able to do a whole lot in chasing after Ellis. There is Blade Runner, so the two Renaults may be looking to box. They have Blade Runner has slightly better tires. He may be able to go a lap longer than Gabo does. So I think definitely they're going to go on to the medium. There's no point in going on to the top tires, it's too risky around here. Go a little further back. Fudo being chased after by Abhi, who, unfortunate for him, he's found himself in some traffic. So I remember this, he really didn't want to come out in traffic, nobody ever does. He had to navigate it, and in doing so he lost a lot of time. So Michel chasing after, and somebody's had a spin there, that is Blade Runner. So in his pursuit of the Lamborghini, the Renault Blade Runner, who I said may have been wanting to go a lap longer, has had a bit of a spin, contact, damage and a penalty. None of which are things that you really want to happen in a race. Respectfully waiting for drivers to get past. That will result in a loss of a whole lot of time. That's Rico into the pits, not enjoying those hards or that Genesis. Boxing. Blade Runner having to serve a penalty on the next lap and having to contend with some damage here. So let's have a look at Abhi trying to get past Fudo. Obviously they are on similar tires at this stage in the race, so it will be a straight battle between the pair of them. Let's have a look. So field is a bit spaced out at this point. We will not focus on the leaders for now. Yeah, that's Abhi trying to get past Fudo. enjoying the hards, I believe. Michel on those hards as well, but he is on the same hards that he started the race on. Sorry for that. So, yeah, that is Fudo going very wide, cutting the turn, and he allows Abi and Michel to get past. Thanos a little further back. So, I think Michel will box around lap 15, 16. That makes sense given his current tire wear. Let's have a look if somebody's going to box. Will Ellis box? He's on those mediums. So I think he will carry on actually. There's no reason for him to box. Sorry, I meant will Gabo box. Gabo may opt to, but he carries on for one more lap at least, at the very least. IGF will hang on in P4, Nico in P5. Nico's having a good race actually, but he is running out of fuel, so he will have to box for fuel, if not for tires as well. So let's see what he does. Michel and Abi chasing after Nico. Fudo for the back. Thanos in P9. Blade Runner starts lap 15 in P10. So his race is also unraveled. So Michel and Blade Runner, both of whom started on the hards, their races have not really gone in the ideal direction you want to go off. It's gone downwards for them. Apocalypse in P11. Not a whole lot happening there. Michel chasing after Abi. The rest of the field is pretty spaced out, so not a whole lot that we need to focus on. Fudo close to Michel, and as of now we have all drivers still in the race. Michel having a massive moment there. Did he just have a bit of a tank slapper there? Let's have a look. So his worn out tires not doing him any favors here. I think just putting the power down a little too early has resulted in catastrophic consequences for Michel. Maybe just took a little bit too much curb there, and in his recovery just gave himself more of a mountain to climb there. That's Thanos getting ahead, that's Fudo getting ahead of him as well. So now it's Fudo giving chase to Abi. Will anybody box? I think Gabo will box on this lap. Ellis won't. Gabo will have to, I think there's no point. He will not gain a whole lot by staying out. Yep, Gabo into the box on lap 15 from those hard tires. So does IJF, and Nico will have to pit at least for fuel. So there you go. Abi inherits P3 in the race. Given I think we would have to pit another time, myself and Abi. For fuel, we would have to box. So let's see at this point in the race. Field is rather spaced out. Apocalypse and Gabo. Gabo's gonna emerge just ahead of Apocalypse, who obviously has those worn out hard tires. Gabo's on fresh medium tires. He will not have to box till the end of the race. So let's have a look at Apocalypse. What can he do in regards to Gabo? I don't think he can do a whole lot. Field is a bit spaced out. Nico and IGF will battle it out. IGF getting a better run through the S's, which will give him the momentum that he needs through this long left-hander. Trying to move down the inside, is he? The Lamborghini on the Aston Martin. But no, nothing that he can do on this occasion. Stays in P10. Michel's race has gone backwards. Apocalypse respectably staying within touching distance of Gabo, giving him a bit of something to worry about. Ellis has boxed, changing those mediums onto a set of another medium. I think he will go for, possibly. Let's have a look at what he does. He started on the softs, mind you, so he can do another set of mediums. He doesn't need to pit for hards, and that's exactly what he's done. He's pitted for the medium tires, and I think this is what prompted me and Abi to really reconsider our strategies. We were considering a bit of tire management, fuel management, but yeah, this strategy really helped us. Hello, Jazz daughter. I can't remember who you are. I'm sorry. You are a part of T6. I'm almost certain of that. Blade Runner crawls into the pits, having very little fuel there in his car. IJF and Nico close to one another. Is it still problematic? Any better now? Yeah, I did make a few changes. I can't. Oh, right, you joined, I think, as my replacement. Yeah. So, hello, Jalsota. That's why I couldn't remember you. I don't think I based you in ALR. So, yeah, there you go. Welcome to the chat, Jalsota. Nice to have you here with us. We switch our attention to Michelle giving chase to Denos. I think Denos has a bit of a moment here. This section is very tricky. I made a few changes. I thought it was resolved. Sorry, I will do another change for Monza. I will not let this happen again. So, the cars are a little too loud, or maybe I'm just speaking a little too softly. Not sure what's the issue here. I think the audio should be a little better now. Something about the party mix and such. Like gas onto the grass, losing a bit of momentum down in P15. This is when the field just starts to get very spaced out. There's not a whole lot going on. Ellis has picked up some damage. Did he? Yep, took the curb, hit the wall. Yeah, I think I've messed up my audio setting. I will check them out before Monza. And the Monza stream really is going to be something very, very interesting. And that is one of the most chaotic league race I've done in my entire time. Across F1 and GT7. That was pretty damn chaotic. IJF chasing after Nico, and this is close battle here. No worries, it's feedback at the end of it all, guys. So I think that's what I will take from it. So don't need to worry about it. Don't need to apologize for anything. You see IJF chasing after Nico. Nico had pretty good pace in this race. I think as we can see here, despite being on the hards and IJF being on the mediums, he is still able to keep him at bay. He's closing up IJF, but he's not able to really get past Nico. Have I spoken to him? Have I given him a bit of a commentator's curse here? Let's have a look. Approaching the long left-hander. Will IJF attempt a move here on the Aston Martin? I don't think he can. Yeah, me too. I'm actually looking forward to seeing how those races went. IJF hangs back for now. He is much closer to Nico, but I think that really affected him. Flashing his lights to let Nico know that that was not something he really enjoyed or appreciated in one bit whatsoever. Gummed with a penalty. We'll have a look at why that is so. Where has he picked up the penalty? I keep missing it. So this turn has really been detriment to a lot of drivers. That's another corner cutting penalty for Gum. So I think Michelle and Gum very close. Lap 18 of 26. Let's have a look at what Michelle can do. I think Michelle should be looking to go for a move here. Right, so there's no need for me to. So there you go. I think he'll get the switch back on Gum here. Coming a little bit wide to that corner, not enjoying his mediums one bit. Also with the penalty, that will doing him no favors. Michelle getting past the Porsche of Gum, who is dropping down the order, and he will definitely be boxing on. It will make sense why would you want to carry on unnecessarily for more laps. Denos giving chase to Gum. Michelle made his way into P8, so it's been a bit of a recovery. Race. Actually, it's been a pretty significant recovery race for Michelle, who has had a couple of spins, a few run-ins, but he is still in the race. He's still scoring some good points, and he is in P8, giving chase after IJF, who is still behind Nico. Nico with some great pace, and there's contact between IJF and Nico. I think IJF did not need to go for the dive there. Maybe just went for a gap of his definition. Much. I think I've given a bit of a spoiler that I'm planning to box here. So, yeah. Let's the fuel actually that is really worrying me at this stage of the race. So yeah, Nico still ahead of IJF, Michelle trying to catch up to the pair of them, Denos a little further back. Blade Runner in P10, it's been a pretty forgettable race for him as well, as is the case for Apocalypse. Gum in the pits, as is Jaden. Inorganic and Gaz are a long way on the field. So Apocalypse chasing after Blade Runner, but the way I don't know if it's lag or not, but he really just seems to be sliding every time I go on board with him through this section of racetrack DSs. Blade Runner chasing after Denos, and this is a nice battle here that I have actually ended up missing. So IJF did end up getting past Nico, who I think had a bit of a moment through this section. Take a breather to just have some water. Alright, so we resume the action. Nico runs into the back of IJF. That is not something the Lambo will appreciate one bit. Michelle spots all this and thinks about creating an opportunity for himself. Nico has the blinkers on for some reason. He's trying to indicate where the next turn goes. There you go. Michelle's outtakes him. He's been a master of that move almost every single time he's managed to do it. So well done to Michelle for making that look so sleek and so elegant. Well done to her. So, trying to make amends, and he hits the Lamborghini in the process and gets ahead of Michelle. That's a little bit too aggressive. That is Abhi into the pit lane, and I think I'll follow suit on the very next lap. So let's shift our focus to that in just a moment. Let's have a look at where he will come out. He will come out behind Gabo. He switched onto a set of mediums as Abhi. He's come out comfortably ahead of IGF, and he's a little bit behind Gabo. So let's have a look. Ellis still in P3, Fudo in P2. Fudo, I think, may be able to get to the end of the race. I will be boxing on this occasion. That is Jaden, who I am about to lap. Let's focus on this actually. Battle for P6 it is between Michelle, Nico and IGF. So Blade Runner picks up the fastest lap, as we can see there. Moments ago he's just picked up the fastest lap. Michelle goes cleaner on the outside of Nico, and I think he will make it strict. That's a great move by Michelle there. Well done, guys. Nico still has the blinkers on. I think that's a little bit distracting for Denos, who is almost being squeezed into the wall outright. There's a lot of contact there, and that has offset Denos massively, and yeah, that is not very nice there. Denos and Nico, I don't think Denos will be particularly happy with that. That is me into the box. Switching back a little bit later. I think I still come out in the lead of the race. This was a pretty tricky race. Blade Runner chasing after Denos. Let's have a look if he's going to go for a move here. I don't think he will. Yeah, he's a little too far back to make the move on this occasion. Denos does have the penalty in any case, so Blade Runner will get lost on the main straight, if not at the corners. Michelle with P6. Abhi has a long way to go. He has to catch up to Gabo, Ellis and Fudo, who wants to get into P2 and make it a dream result for the Ferrari team. Gabo's not too far ahead. Maybe by the end of the race he may have a chance of overtaking the Renault. But it's Ellis and Fudo who will really be the problem here towards the end of the race. Does he have enough laps to catch up to them? Yeah, it is a little distracting, I agree. The headlights were really annoying here, especially at the race start. It's super distracting to look at that. Denos being overtaken by Apocalypse. Both of whom are on the mediums. Rico has pit. He has not enjoyed this one bit. Yeah, he comes a little too far behind. Denos has been overtaken and having a very good time. Blade Runner, he is struggling a little bit in this race. He's not had a very good time whatsoever. All those spins and contacts that he's made. IGF giving chase to Michelle. Everybody ahead is in a race of their own. Gabo is catching up to Ellis, although Gabo's tires will be running out of life by the end of this race. So with just 5 laps to go, that is having started the 22nd lap of 26. Ellis getting a bit of a movement there. I think over there some contact. Let's have a look. From Gabo's point of view, I think that is Ellis just closing the rear end slightly, which will do him no favor, although he is on much better hard tires. Look at Blade Runner trying to get past Nico. Nico's been going backwards after actually showcasing some pretty good pace in this race. I think got a little bit distracted there, Blade Runner, by seeing Nico slow down that much for the chicane. What's going on here? Danos and Apocalypse. Apocalypse onto the grass there. Danos looking for a way past. Is there contact? I think there may have been, or they just both of them missed the time. So the Apocalypse missed the time. Danos getting past the Audi, who has been having a pretty torrid time in this race. Tom also on a race of their own. Going further back is in a race of their own. We see Blade Runner still trying to get past Nico. See here Ellis and Gabo. Gabo's close the gap to Ellis. He may be looking for a move around the outside and the inside. What does he think is the best course of action at this stage in the race? He'll pick up some slipstream, possibly go for a move into the chicane. Let's have a look. There's a bit before that. No moves being made here. Or are they? He actually outbreaks Ellis a little bit, but isn't able to get ahead of him on track. I think as soon as Monza is done, maybe by the end of the week, guys. So I think that should be end of the week. I think that's when we expect, yeah. That's when we can expect the forms for Dragon Trail. We are already on round 5, so we have one more round between this and Dragon Trail. So let's see. I think in due course of time they'll all follow suit. Let's get to the race here. Gabo chasing after Ellis. His tires are doing him no favors here. Lap 23, he doesn't have a whole lot of tires left, does Gabo. Kyoto also in a race of his own, and further ahead. Not too far ahead. Ellis onto the grass there. That's gonna give him a few problems going through this section. You need as much grip as you can, regardless of your car, through this section, to be able to get maximum speed through here. It's very easy, as we've seen on multiple occasions with multiple drivers. It's very easy to lose your rear end, or just lose your composure a little bit while through the SS section. Here goes Gabo looking for a way past Ellis. One lap later, will he be able to outbrake him on this occasion? Let's have a look at what Gabo does. He is so much more confident on the brakes here compared to Ellis. There's not a whole lot that he can do here. That's Abhi trying to get close to the pair of them. He will not be able to see this at this point in time. Gabo flashing his lights, giving a bit of a statement of intent, going for the switchback, but I think Ellis has covered it off well. Almost some contact, almost Gabo going into the wall there. That's not what you would want to happen in any case. Gabo still chasing after. I think he will start to back off a little bit to conserve his tires by this stage in the race. Otherwise, he will not get to the end at pace. Let's have a look. We can see here. Yeah, it's a little distracting actually, the right blinker of the, and it's actually end blinker. So that is, I think that's Gas getting out the way of Abhi, who is chasing after the Renault and the Supra. Further back, yeah, very spaced out field there. Yeah, that's likely. I agree with that. Nico using the blinker still. He's turned off the blinker. No, he's not. Still has the blinker enabled. Down in P10 now. He's fallen down the order. Apocalypse in P11. Gumb being chased after by Jaden. Well, the P12, not the positions they would have wanted to be in, but it's important to get to the race finish in any case. Up front, I see, yeah, Ellis and Gabo. So let's have a look at that. So once again, third time's the charm for Gabo. Clean out break Ellis on this occasion. Ellis just does not have the confidence in this this point, but does go off track Gabo, and there's contact for the pair of them, and I think Gabo will realize that that was a little unfortunate. So will Ellis. I think neither of them will clearly cross between one another for that bit of contact, and all this has allowed Abu to get involved in the pair of them. I see Michelle a little further back, and behind Abu is the lap car of Gaz. Yeah, Abu is on better tires compared to Gabo, but not compared to Ellis. So let's see what he can do. He should be able to get past Gabo on the. Yeah, I think that is the case. Sometimes you just tend to accidentally press the blinker button. So I have accidentally pressed the handbrake actually in the race. So I'm one to speak. Yeah. Gabo was really struggling at this stage in the race, I believe, guys. So, hello, Cat Demancy, nice to have you in the chat with us. Yeah, I think you raced around 7 and 8 as well. You joined along with Charles when you did. As you can see there, Ellis struggling. We will have a look at Gabo. Gabo, despite having very little, almost having remnants of the front right tire left at this point, yeah, that's aggressive racing, and that is going to allow Abhi to get an opportunity. Gabo is pushing with all his might. Abhi is going to go for a move into the chicane. Gabo brakes a little bit later, and he is struggling to keep the car on track, as we can see. That front right is doing him no favors, but I think he will soldier on. He will not box. Ellis has been given a bit of a lifeline here. That is Fudo as well. Fudo himself is on pretty old tires. So Ellis doesn't seem to be comfortable with the tires. Fudo just seems to be wanting to hang on. Hanging on for dear life at this point. Abhi trying to get past Gabo. The lap car, I don't think the headlights will do him any favors here. Abhi. That's it. Gabo. Very little grip, and the lap car of Gas also squirming around, as we can hear there. We see here, I think it's a straight line fight here that the Supra has won. Getting in the slipstream of the Audi and getting past. I think Fudo is also struggling extensively with fuel at this point. Yeah, Ellis gets past the Audi of Fudo, who is also on really old tires. Gabo and Abhi, what's going to become of these two? Abhi will be wanting to make moves as early as possible if he wants to get the podium. He's currently in P5. He could get P2 still, given how we saw Ellis struggle. Going to go for the move on Gabo. This did not end well in the sprint, and once again these two make contact at the very same turn they did in the sprint race, I think it was, or was it in the feature, early on in the feature? Yeah, these two once again making contact. Gabo picking up the penalty and having no tires. Michelle will close up to him here. Let's have a look. Abhi will get past Fudo at the chicane, really. There's a little bit of wheel banging here, a little bit of contact. Ellis is not too far ahead. Will he be able to get close to Ellis, maybe even pass Ellis before the end of the race? Let's have a look. Let's be on board with him. I think I have crossed the line. Yeah, there you go. So that is me crossing the line. Ellis is still chasing after, not chasing after, sorry. Abhi is still chasing after Ellis. Still has a chance at P2. Ellis struggling, as you could see there visibly. He's not having the outright confidence in those tires or in the car. But he will hang on to P2 at the end there. Fudo will hang on to P4. only has to navigate one turn here. Gabo's lost all his tires, and Michel will be looking to get past, also with no fuel, but Gabo has to slow down for serving his mandatory penalty, and I think that is going to be Michel getting past the Renault of Gabo, who finishes in P7. That is a photo finish between Blade Runner and IJF. IJF will come out on top ahead of Blade Runner. Apocalypse in P9, a bit of a race to forget, but a good comeback for him in any case. Denos is going very slowly, Denos, for some reason. As you can see, Nico's going full throttle and Denos is pretty slow here. And he will cross the line. P10, I think he just wanted to post home. Nico in P11 with those blinkers enabled. That is something that a couple of people have mentioned at this point in time. And Gum will finish just ahead of Jaden in P12. Jaden will finish an unlucky 13th. Rico, Inorganic, and Gaz all finished a lap behind. So with that, we conclude the Kyoto race. It was very intriguing. All these different strategy calls, tire wear, fuel management, and so on. But in any case, it was fun to do comms for Kyoto. We'll be back soon with Monza comms as well. Until then, wherever you are, take care. Thank you. Good night and goodbye.